Hi, this is Dave Michels from TalkingPointz. I'm with Mike Gold, the CEO of Intermedia. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Dave, for having me.
This is not our first interview, not our first conversation. And I was thinking about it. You've really been around for a while. I think you joined Intermedia, as far as I can recall. Well, actually, I don't even know how to define it because I think you started at Intermedia in 2011, but you came in through acquisition. So I don't even know when you started.
Um, Roughly 2008, I started considered a mini Intermedia. So a company that looked like Intermedia, but it was a startup, and we got to about 200 partners. And then with a gentleman named Phil Keown, who's the former CEO of Savis, former president of Equinox, the two of us partnered together with the backing of Oak Hill Capital to buy Intermedia from the founder. So it's somewhere around there.
So, long story short, 2008, and I think you became officially the chairman and CEO in 2015. So, no matter how you slice it, you've been around for a while here, which is impressive. And even more impressive is you guys keep popping up on my news feed. Let's
Okay.
see, just a few months ago, Intermedia announced now you have to explain this to me, a refinance. I normally write about fundraising, but this was fundraising. I think you raised quite a bit of money, but you called it a refinance. So first explain the term and then explain what you're going to do with this cash.
Okay. Well, refinance, just like people refinance their house. When they refinance their house, they usually do so to get better rates, and they pay off their prior loan with the funds from the new loan. So similarly with Intermedia, like most private equity firms, when a private equity firm gets into a company, they usually put in equity and they put in debt. And so they raise the debt from lenders. And so that's what Intermedia with our private equity partner, Madison Dearborn, did. And all we've done with this refinancing is we've brought in new debt under new terms, better terms, and we paid off our prior debt.
So
The
I have a feeling there's
company,
more to that story. I have a feeling that somehow you ended up with a bunch of cash in your wallet.
well, understand Intermedia has always been a profitable company. We generate strong profits and cash flow, and we use that to continue to grow the business. We invest in product, in engineering, in our operations, in our sales and marketing, continue to improve what we're offering to the market. So we've been self-funding all along.
You're not giving me what I'm looking for, Mike.
Yeah.
You've done acquisitions in the past. You made some big moves. You just raised, well, I don't know what you raised. You got 345 million in refinancing. So I'm trying to figure out what's on your near term agenda. Are you going to do an acquisition? What do you got? You got some plans for this?
The plan is to continue to invest and grow. Candidly, Dave, no, this is not a massive war chest that we're sitting on to go buy, one of our competitors or some other product line. We may or may not do that if it makes sense. We're always evaluating opportunities, and we've done half a dozen acquisitions since I've been running the company. And so there's certainly that possibility in the future. I have nothing to announce right now. And I just want to reiterate the purpose of the refinancing was to get better terms and to pay off prior debt and to have new debt, which we're now sitting on. So the
Well,
company
it
has a
seems like
strong financial footing, which we use to grow the business.
so.
We're
The
making
reason
money.
I'm
We're
pushing
cash flow
on this is
positive.
because it seems like interesting timing because that was just a few months ago, and then last month, I guess it was the beginning of this month, we heard that NEC was one of your partners is exiting its premises-based business, and that seems to like that might be a growth opportunity for you, since NEC is directing those customers to the NEC Universe Blue brand, which is powered by Intermedia. So I'm just thinking that I'm just putting two and two together that maybe you had planned some amazing growth, or was it just happenstance?
It's just really the timing is coincidental. That one thing has nothing to do with the other. With or without NEC's announcement, we would have done the refinancing. But since you brought up the NEC announcement, I think the way the market should see this is what has already been evident across all of the on-prem providers. The world is moving to the cloud. The future roadmap for modernizing your communication collaboration is in the cloud, and the on-prem providers have been declining and have been struggling to maintain that type of business. And so there really isn't a strong future for on-prem. It's not going away by any means, but it's not a growth area. And businesses that want to leverage modern communications and collaboration, to leverage AI and all the power that that brings, you really do need to move to cloud providers. So we formed a relationship with NEC 4 years ago, and they're our strongest partner. We gained significant growth as a result of that partnership as their on-prem base, which is massive, moves to the cloud. We've only scratched the
Massive
surface of the opportunity.
massive and global. And what NEC, for those that don't know, what NEC announced is that they plan to exit the premises-based business globally, with the exception of its own domestic market in Japan. And so that's a pretty significant opportunity for Intermedia, as you said, one of your bigger partners. And it is an international offer, and so you should see. I mean, NEC is directing. I've seen it. They're directing their customers to Universe Blue, and I think this is important. Now we're talking about NEC. I know some of your other customers, but I don't know if they're public or not. But I run into people that don't know the brand Intermedia, and I say that's often because your customers' brands go first.
Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. So Intermedia has been around for a while, but most of our business is sold under a private label model. We call it our core model, customer ownership reseller. And so what we do is we develop the products, we operate the services, and then we provide it at a wholesale price to our partners, who then can charge whatever they want, call it whatever they want. But we handle behind the scenes the business. We even give them platforms for generating quotes, for doing the marketing, social media marketing, website, everything. And so we are behind the scenes enabling that. NEC happens to be the biggest of those private label partners. However, we have 7,500 partners on a global basis. Not all of them sell under the model I just said. We do have some who are, the typical sales agent approach, but the lion's share are selling under this private label model.
And that market, the traditional wholesale market, the ones that I think I associate with BroadSoft or GenBan or Metaswitch, that market seems to be kind of getting hot again, and there's a number of companies going after that installed base, and you being one of them. How do you stand out? How do you differentiate when you talk to service providers about switching over to your service?
Sure. I want to just reinforce a point that you make to provide the audience a little bit of history. So Cisco bought a company called BroadSoft years ago. Microsoft a few years ago bought Metaswitch. Those are the two historically leading companies that sold software to large service providers, telcos, for example, that would then use that software, run it in their platforms, in their infrastructure, on their networks, and provide basically hosted VoIP. It's not, for the most part, it's not full UCaaS. And
But they
they
hosted
have
it.
big
They
installed
actually hosted
bases.
it. Yeah.
Right. And so now Cisco doesn't want to do that anymore, and Microsoft doesn't want to do that anymore. Cisco wants everybody to sell WebEx, and Microsoft wants everybody to sell Teams. But everybody doesn't want to do that. And so many of these service providers say, hey, we kind of like to have our brand on the offering. We are really good at that, and we want to offer an even more robust product that has more modern features and functionalities, which is where Intermedia comes in. And so we've been in this business for so long with the model that I just described, and it really works well for these larger service providers as well. What we announced a handful of months ago is a packaging of that offering specifically for larger service providers, and we call that our Ascend offer.
But that earlier wave of service providers, they were buying software that they ran in their data centers. And now what you're offering is a service that replaces that. They can still rebrand it. They can still, make it their own and tweak it the way they want to. But now they're buying a wholesale cloud service. Is that a hard transition for some of these service providers?
Yeah, it's not for all of them, but most of them seem to really like it, to prefer it. We're able to offer to them to allow them to have good margins, to allow them to have a much better product than they've been offering, so it can compete with any of the others out there, whereas their prior product couldn't. And so they were also experiencing churn because their product wasn't good enough for the world that we're in today and for where we're going. And so with the Intermedia offering, they have a product that's competitive now and will be competitive in the future, that they can make money at, that they can sell under their own brand. And then some of them are also choosing to leverage their network. And so we've designed this in a way that it's not fully wholesaling to us. It's also leveraging core asset, which is their network.
All
And of
right.
course, their brand and their salespeople and their distribution channel. And some of them are also providing the support as well. For the most part, they are providing the support.
So another item that popped up on my news feed recently about Intermedia was a new healthcare focused vertical. So my first reaction, just to kind of put you on the defensive here, is that everybody has a healthcare vertical. So let's start off with what makes your healthcare vertical different.
Well, one, we've integrated with the leading EMRs, the electronic health record, electronic medical record systems, Epic, Athena, and Cerner, and others. So having that integration, it improves the patient experience. It automates, the inbound and outbound patient communications, the workflows, the lookup, self-service, automated reminders. So by having that integration, that is actually really important. So it's not just selling our product to the healthcare providers; it's also integrating it with the number one core system that they use to manage their integration or their interactions with their customer base, who are their patients. So I guess that's the number one thing. In addition, we have a archiving product. This was our most recent acquisition, actually, that has capabilities that meet HIPAA requirements around customer and communication retention. So that's
Well,
another aspect of our offering. And then, of course, you got the full suite of communication collaboration, which is critical for any business, including doctors' offices, hospitals, etc.
so again, I was a little suspicious of the timing because you announced the healthcare announcement weeks, 3, 4 weeks before NEC made their announcement, and of course, NEC is very strong in healthcare. I was wondering if these were also happenstance, or if there was something going on there.
No, in partnership with NEC, we have deployed thousands and thousands of seats of our UCaaS and CCaaS to one of the top two healthcare systems in the country. Without NEC, we won the largest healthcare system in the country. And we have many others. So we have some very significant customers running on our UCaaS and CCaaS products today. And NEC has been great. They have a lot through their install base. They have many hospitals, doctors, clinics. There's in that world, there's a lot of consolidation going on where you have providers who are buying multiple hospitals, medical practices, And they're one of the purposes, one of the reasons why they do that consolidation is to gain efficiencies. And one of the areas where they can gain efficiencies is in communication collaboration solutions. So, which is where we come in.
Okay, hold on a second here. So we're at the 15-minute mark where we've been going. So I'm going to I'm going to ask you one more follow-up question there. We'll wrap up the video, and then I'm just going to throw in one more question kind of at the end for the editors to work with to see if they want to plug it in
Okay.
somewhere. Okay.
Okay.
Um, so help me understand, when I see announcements like Intermedia is announcing something new, like this healthcare focus, does that automatically or generally propagate down to all of your rebranded partners, or do the partners only get things that they purchase or subscribe to?
I'm not sure about the automatically. It's everything that we offer is available to all of our partners for the most part. So we've started off as a business providing, horizontal solutions, and now for the last, I don't know how long, but a few years, we've been investing in certain verticals where we had a lot of success without having a vertical package, without having vertical marketing. And so what we're doing more and more of now, because it helps our partners if we have an integration with the core systems that that particular vertical uses. In this case, we're talking about, the healthcare field, but it could be car dealerships, for example. We have a lot of these chains of car dealerships who are on our platform. There's a handful, there's like 3 or 4 main systems that all the car dealers use to run their business. We've integrated into those. So it makes it easier. It's smarter for a car dealer to buy an Intermedia based platform from one of our partners because of that. So with that comes the integration, comes the marketing and packaging around it, which makes it easier for them to engage with the customer in that particular vertical.
All right, Mike. Well, that's all we have time for in this chat. But I want to thank you for your time and wish you the best of luck with all the exciting things you have going on in Intermedia.
Dave, love the interest. Thanks for the questions. Enjoyed the discussion. Thanks.
All right. Now, one more question. A bonus question here is so I cover, the whole UCaaS space and a lot of different providers. And one thing that stands out to me when I look at Intermedia is you've got some very unique offers. So I think you're the only one that really, other than Microsoft and Google, that offer email. You have archiving. You've got shared storage. You've got a number of services that are very unusual for the UCaaS offer. Is that an accident, historical, or customer driven? Or tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the vision of the company has been, for as long as I've been with the company, is to be a one-stop shop provider of the core IT and communication applications that businesses use. So think of the set of business that no matter what industry you're in, these are things that almost everybody needs. And furthermore, that almost every employee in each of those businesses would need. So back when I came in 2011, we had a list. Here's the set of applications many of these are still on-prem, and they're going to move to the cloud over time. And we want to do all these things. So through a combination of in-house development, some M&A, and some business development, we, built out the portfolio that we have today. So we actually partner with Microsoft. We're the largest independent Microsoft Exchange provider. That's actually the legacy of the business. That's primarily what we did when I came in 2011, and we've expanded from there. But now, as we all see what's Microsoft has been able to do in the cloud and with AI and the ubiquity of Office and the ubiquity of M365 and Teams, is we have extremely tight integration into those platforms. So our customers or our partners' customers, oftentimes find it easier if they have one platform where all the applications are integrated together, managed by the IT people who are typically our partners. It's just easier to do it that way. You got one support call, one bill, everything's integrated out of the box. So many of our customers will buy 365 from us, email from us, have the UCaaS and CCaaS and the archiving, the backup all integrated together. But some of them may get it from other places and they'll just deal with the UCaaS, CCaaS, archiving, backup, and other services from us without getting 365 from us. So we offer that optionality.
All right.